There's a strange kind of grief that comes with growth. The grief of outgrowing your own armor, right? Some people think that healing is about leaving the past behind. But sometimes the heaviest goodbye is the one you say to the parts of yourself that helped you survive it. And I would say over the past week or two, I've been sitting with that, right? The old versions of me, the warrior, the protector, the one who always, when I say always, I would say 85% of my day was spent expecting disappointment. The one who walked into every situation with shoulders tight, jaw clenched, already preparing for the hit. And I know she didn't just show up out of nowhere, you know. She was kind of born in chaos and learned that job very early. And she kept me alive when nothing else did. And I think that's why this goodbye hurts, because she was loyal, right? So, just to give you a quick example of how I realized, let's see, what's today? Wednesday. So Sunday, I realized that it was time to let her go, let that part of me go. So I was blessed to be able to go to this, I'll just say a Christmas shopping event where I could pick out some things for my kids and, give them some Christmas items. And the event was at a church, and I have had my past, I'll just say, struggles with church. And I'm not going to go into great detail in this video because that's a whole nother conversation. But being inside this church and seeing the dynamics of how everything was set up kind of triggered that warrior. I was on guard in the church, just prepared for whatever, right? And there was a moment where I was sitting at a table by myself, eating some food. It was Chick-fil-A nuggets on a Sunday. I knew it was a miracle, right? And I'm sitting at this table, and three guys decided to share the table. I mean, it was a shared space. Everybody was kind of sitting down and eating, but I felt like they sat so close to me that I had like one fist clenched under the table, the other hand eating my food, because I was just ready for somebody to say something, or I was just ready for a war that didn't exist, right? And I had to literally pull out my phone and write through it and get through it and face those feelings, because it was very real. It felt very, very real in my body. But there was a point where I said, girl, you are safe. Let your guard down. Take your armor off. You're safe. Enjoy your food. And I started having conversation with the guys at the table until they called me to go do some shopping or whatever. And it ended up being a really great experience, but I almost missed an opportunity because of that old warrior mode, that old protector, being prepared for a war that just didn't exist, right? And so that survival version of me was the one who stayed up at night figuring out how to make it, the one who, even though I could see the good in people, right, I also saw the worst in people because I had to. She was the one who took disappointment so personal because, she was always bracing for the next one, right? The one who believed pain was predictable and comfort was the lie. And you know what? I can't even be mad at her. She did what she had to do. If anything, she deserves a standing ovation. But here's the thing. I'm not living in that same war zone anymore. And she can't run my life from the battlefield she was built on. Right? So this chapter is my way of saying, hey girl, you got me here, but you cannot take me where I'm going. Right? So letting those parts of yourself retire isn't weakness. It's actually wisdom. You learn to pause before you panic. You learn to breathe before you brace. And you learn to trust what's in front of you instead of fighting ghosts behind you. And listen, it's not easy, right? It is not easy. Survival feels familiar. It feels comfortable. Fear feels safe because you've rehearsed it your whole life. But hope, that's the risky stuff. That requires faith. That requires showing up without the armor. That requires believing that joy doesn't always come with a price. But I'm in a new season, and the cost of carrying old weapons, old heavy armor is just too high. So today, I'm letting the protector rest. I'm letting the warrior unclench her fist. And I'm letting the version of me that expects disappointment finally exhale, finally breathe. Not because she failed, but because she succeeded. Her mission is complete. There is no love lost between me and who I used to be. We're just no longer aligned in purpose. Right? Goodbye to the warrior. Ooh, that I felt that. Hello to the woman who finally gets to move forward without the armor. And if you're listening to this and you're holding on to an older version of yourself just because she kept you alive, please hear me when I say you do not have to keep carrying her. You do not have to stay ready for impact. You do not have to expect disappointment just to feel safe. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to release the version of you that only knew how to survive. You are allowed to trust the softness you're growing into. You can say thank you to those old parts for their service. You can honor them for getting you through. And you can still let them rest. Because you deserve a life where you're not flinching at every blessing. You deserve a life where you're not rehearsing heartbreak before love even shows up. I'm pretty good at that. You deserve a life that isn't built on fear, defense, or survival mode. You get to choose a new way of being. You get to walk into the next chapter without dragging the old war stories with you. You get to meet the version of you who actually feels safe, hopeful, and open. Okay? Now, this isn't the end of you. This is you finally becoming who you were always meant to be. Okay? You got this.
You know, I used to think heartbreak meant I
We got
failed.
this.
That love was
I love you all.
supposed to last forever.
Until next
to
time.
be real.
Peace.
But somewhere between the tears and the quiet, I realized love don't die, it transforms. It teaches, it stretches, it heals. So when I look back now, I don't see endings, I see lessons. And the girl who kept her heart open through it all. If I gave into all of my life's heartbreaks, I'd be deaf to the beautiful sounds my heart makes. So I'm grateful for every tear I cried, for every forehead kiss, and every blow to my pride. Love tried to break me, but it built